I'm Rachel. I am a registered midwife and a mum of 3, and we have developed this video to show women's lived experience of their breastfeeding journey. As you'll see when we talk to these women, not everyone's experience of breastfeeding is the same. I have really enjoyed at the beginning when you have that immediate skin-to-skin contact. It's uninterrupted for an hour. The baby crawls to breast. It is really important as a mother, but also as a midwife, to have that bonding time. I found that that was probably my favourite part looking back at my journey.
I really like the bond that it creates. It is actually good when you've got other kids to do it because it guarantees you that time together. And I just really like how calm I can make her.
One of my most positive experiences as a mother and student midwife would be about the golden hour. So the first hour when baby is born, having them do skin to skin with mum. I feel, especially with my first, it was so special. He was able to crawl to the breast and have his first little breastfeed.
I think knowing all the goodness that breast milk does have for your growing and developing little baby is always in the back of your mind. It's good for their gut bacteria, it's good for their brain development, it reduces rates of allergies, reduces risk of diabetes. It's endless, that list, you know.
As someone who wasn't sure that I was going to breastfeed while pregnant, I felt quite like a societal pressure to do that, and it's just been really quite natural and easy for me and for Elvie as well. She's taken to it really well, which has been nice.
And of course, I am from an Indian background, so in our culture, the women will be getting like utmost care during the time of pregnancy. That will start from the antenatal period and till the postpartum. Like the family will be with us all the time.
Some days I found in the beginning that my supply wasn't matching what I felt that she needed, and she was just it would just be suddenly a leap. You know, you'd be going on really good, and you think you got it all sorted, that you're kind of a month or 2 months in, and yeah, we're doing good with the feeding, and then suddenly her supply needs would just go boom one day, and you just felt like no matter what you did, you didn't have enough. So I called the ABA, which is the Australian Breastfeeding Association, which is really good because they're all women that have breastfed before. It's not just, in the first few weeks that they can provide advice. They know the difficulties that you might have when you're breastfeeding at 6 months versus 1 month, because it's always changing. And they gave me some really good advice that I could actually just go back to the initial side, because I was kind of feeding on one side and feeding on the other, and then thinking, well, do I have to give some formula now because it's not enough? And they said to me, well, it's been 20 minutes by the time you fed on one side and the other, you'd actually be producing more milk again. I was like, oh, so I can feed on the third side. So we just did that. I have consistently gotten mastitis throughout this journey. I don't know why. It's always in my right boob. What I did with her, not in all cases, when I started feeling it was coming on, I started taking a certain probiotic, which I've continued to take, and that's actually reduced it getting worse, and I haven't been getting it as much.
The main challenges I did experience with George were probably pain more than anything.
You can have an oversupply, which I definitely did. I was engorged for months. I sought help from midwives, friends, went into a lactation consultant. It was a blessing and a curse. And then I had a lot of milk for Percy to then be able to my husband to feed him, but also made me very uncomfortable at times. But the good thing is that it does settle, and it can settle as long as you seek that support.
Jimmy and I had issues latching after the first couple of weeks, and we just weren't getting a very good connection at that point in time. But we made the decision to go with exclusive breast milk rather than formula, because I still wanted to give him all the good quality breast milk. I didn't want to give to formula if I didn't have to.
So I've had 3 babies and I've breastfed all 3 babies. I've always found it initially hard to breastfeed, and what has helped me to keep going with breastfeeding is to mixed feed and to obviously just know like it's so beneficial to breastfeed in the long run, and that it does get much easier over time. Like it's a learnt skill for each baby. So if you just stick with it, for me, it definitely got easier.
So when Ram was 5.5 months old, I had to return back to work. So in the beginning, I was a bit stressful, like how do I manage? Like I was exclusively breastfeeding him. So how could I like feed him and go to work?
So Elvie has been taking a bottle too since she was probably 2 days old. I just feel like while I am able to bond with her breastfeeding, it's nice for my husband Jack to be able to give her a bottle of a night time and feel that connection as well, and just take a little bit of pressure off me being the sole person that is providing that food and comfort for her.
We were similar in the way that we introduced a bottle when Percy was about 7 days old, which allowed my husband to give him a feed every now and then, and he still takes a bottle now, which is really good, and takes, as Lan said, takes that pressure off being that sole feeder.
I actually found it really helped Jimmy's connection with his father. They got to have that experience that they never would have had that kind of early on, which was really lovely. And it kind of helped share the load a little bit. While I was pumping, Cody could help with the feeds, and it really helped that father-son experience too.
He could do everything else. He could do all the nappy changes. Breastfeeding when you're traveling is great. You know, you can just take off and you don't have to worry about all of that stuff from bringing tins of formula and how much you need, or can you get the right formula where you are. You know, wherever I am, she is, and she's got to feed.
For me personally, I just found it uncomfortable, but basically the more I did it, the more comfortable I got. And now I'm happy just to be able to breastfeed, you know, wherever and whenever. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, people are so encouraging of you to do it now. It's not, you know, you don't need a great big cloth over you, or, you know, you don't need to go to a different room. Like people are, you know, you're just feeding your baby, and people are really supportive and happy for you to do that wherever you need to.
I went for a walk along here. Percy's 7.5 months now, but he was about 6 weeks old. And we stopped at this very spot and breastfed. And it was so nice sitting by the river. We sat here for about 20 or so minutes just feeding with one another. And it was really quite a nice experience.
So we just finished a feed and we can see how happy she is now. Or you milk drunk? You're trying to work it out. So if you're finding it painful or not looking forward to every feed, you need to get some help.
I guess the thing is, like, there's always ways around the challenge, and it's definitely not worth stopping over something like that. And you get through it, and it's such a short period of their lives that you're able to provide this for them. It's worth it, you know. Yeah, and I would definitely do it again. I've seen a lot of my friends and people really struggling with continuing on breastfeeding because of these challenges. The access to lactation consultants, midwives and everything have been so helpful throughout all of the breastfeeding journey.
My advice to new parents would be to not question your supply. So I feel like breastfeeding is such a mental game. So if you are demand feeding, your body's going to make enough milk to what your baby needs.
Whether you choose to breastfeed or formula feed, you'll always be supported because it's what's best for you and your baby. And there's going to be challenges for either, you know, and benefits for both. So just got to do what works for you and your baby.
As you can see, breastfeeding is both rewarding and challenging, and there will always be challenges. The biggest take home is to stick with it. It can be a really beautiful experience.